Good day, good people, and welcome to Real Chicks Rock presents Real Discussions. I am your host, Michelle Dosbert, and as always, I'm super excited to be here. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Today's not any different exception. I'm just so excited to be here. I love my guest. I cannot wait to talk to her. I've not talked to her in years. She remembers when we were at the other studio and how things were over there. And so now the heavens have opened up. And we're in a beautiful space. But we'll get to all that. First of all, I want to thank all of the new listeners. Thank you so much for taking time and checking us out. Let me give you a little bit about what Real Chicks Rock is all about. We're all about creatively collaborating and connecting with women to raise awareness. We do this, and we do this by public speaking, mentoring, community service, and the arts. And we've been doing this podcasting arts talk show thing since April 2016. So we've been doing it for a little bit, and we're just so glad to continue to bring good people, good conversations, good dialogue, and all that stuff. So today's topic is a conversation with Debbie Graham. Hi, Debbie.
Hey, Michelle. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Yeah, I feel like I know you. A little background, because when I first started the brand 11 years ago, and I did an event, my very first event, Debbie Graham was one of the DJs.
Party with a Purpose.
Party with a Purpose. The club is no longer, what is it? Club Lava?
It was called Lava
Lounge in Atlanta. And Debbie I asked her, it's like, I'm doing this event and, it's Party with a Purpose and people will bring clothes and we'll give it to the homeless people. And will you be a DJ? And she was like, sure. You did. You said sure. You liked it.
It's all about giving back,
It's all about giving back. And so we have been kind of like connected, right, for all this time.
Most definitely.
Yes, you're a great DJ, and we're going to talk all about that. I don't want to shortchange you your time. Tell the people, Debbie, where are you from?
I'm an island girl, man.
You're a yachty.
I'm a yachty. Come from Jamaica. But I guess I kind of adopted Atlanta. I've been here since 1983.
Wow, long time. Okay. Born in Jamaica. What part of Jamaica?
So I'm a city girl. I'm from Kingston.
Yes. Lyve.
Really, St. Andrew. Sorry, St. Andrew.
Yeah. But talk to us just a little bit about life for you in Jamaica as a young girl. How was it for you? And we could talk about it musically. The music, was it just Marley? Was it what did you listen to as a kid?
So as a kid, I listened to soca, reggae. Did listen to a lot of rock and roll back then, because I came from a very musical family, and there was always music playing. Plus my parents traveled a lot, so they used to bring music from overseas. And I just remember it being a very fun childhood. Nice. And, no restrictions from my dad into using his equipment. Yeah. So, I was always playing stuff, whether they were home or not, just getting in tune with the music.
Yeah. So it wasn't just a reggae thing. It was everything.
It was everything.
R&B. Rock. Everything.
You name it, classical also.
All that. So you're having a good time.
Most definitely.
So how do we get from Jamaica at least to the States? Was the States our first place, or did we go somewhere else?
So the States was the first place we moved. Yes. But our family had talked about moving to Saskatchewan, Canada.
Yeah, of course, because all West Indians move to Canada. We don't know why, but they go up there. They go from hot to cool.
Right.
All
but
right.
My dad's one of his younger sisters actually had been living in Saskatchewan on a farm for years. And so his first thought was, yes, let's go to Saskatchewan. And my mother said, no.
No, good for mommy.
Can't deal with the cold.
Yeah.
So eventually, my dad has 9 sisters. Wow. So 5 of them moved to Houston back in 1979, 1980. And that was the time where the big oil boom, Houston was doing well.
Okay.
And so they encouraged my dad to come there instead. So he went first. A few months later, the rest of the family joined. And so that's where I actually went to high school.
In Houston.
In Houston. But I wasn't a big fan of Texas.
Isn't everything bigger and better in Texas?
Texas is its own country, but it was a little bit, hard to adjust, number one. Going to a co-ed school because I went to an all-girls school.
In Jamaica?
In Jamaica, yeah. And so a little bit of, culture shock for me. But then when it came time to go to college, I had an aunt and uncle that were living here in Atlanta. And they'd been living here since like 1976. And they were like, Deb, you should really think about going to college here. And then my next door neighbor from Jamaica, he was doing his MBA at Georgia State University. And he was like, you got to come to Atlanta.
Yes.
Yes. And so I came here just one Christmas just to kind of hang out. And I fell in love with Atlanta.
It got you.
Not only just the green space.
Yes.
But I felt like people's mannerisms here were very similar to Jamaica. That southern, hey, how you doing, kind of thing. And fell in love with
Hello, darling. You just need someone to say, hello, baby.
Exactly.
Hello, baby. Hello, darling. So, you remember the name of your all-girls school in Jamaica?
Yes, I went to the Queen's School.
You went to the Queen. My sister went to Fitzhenley Secretarial School.
Okay.
In Jamaica, where she wore the yellow dress and the scarf tied to the left. Looking like, and everybody looked the same. The people at Jamaica National Bank wore uniforms.
Air Jamaica.
Everybody looked the same.
That was the thing, that scarf.
And pantyhose in the heat. She did not like that. She didn't like that part. It was too hot to wear pantyhose, but she had to wear it. That was part of the uniform.
Yeah.
So you got family in Houston, but then you have an aunt and uncle in Jamaica. In Atlanta. And so what college did you attend college here?
Yes, so I went to Georgia State.
You did?
Yeah, for undergrad.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did. Even though it was a commuter school at the time, there were no dorms, but I really built a really strong network at Georgia State, especially with the Caribbean students,
of course,
which is how the serious DJing started.
All right. Yeah, just come on and segue into that. So, a lot of music growing up in Jamaica, in Kingston primarily, ideally, right? Family, they're very cultured, nice people, good time growing up as a kid. You move to Atlanta, you connect with other Caribbean folks. And so how did this happen? Was it somebody having a party and asked you to play? Like, how did you get into DJing?
So I always felt like I wanted to DJ because I had seen people do it. But again, back then, you didn't really see females DJing. So I was vice president of the Caribbean Students Union at Georgia State. So we decided to have parties because that's what Caribbean people do, right? So so I met up, with the group or whatever, and they're like, well, we need a DJ for the party, blah, blah, blah. So I had a friend that was dating a DJ. He's from New York. Parents are from Jamaica.
Yes.
And he and I connected. He showed me some basics.
Right.
And that's how it started.
Wow.
So I was playing parties for the Caribbean Students Union. Even we would do, at Georgia State, we had this 10 o'clock break every day. We'd set up in front of the library and get the restaurants to donate little cocktail patties and, you know, try to promote the party that way. We had music playing, then we said, hey, if you like this,
then come to the party.
Come to the party tonight.
Yes.
You know, and there were a couple of clubs in Decatur that, you know, were open to us bringing in the students. And that's how it started. And then as time went by, I started hanging out with that particular DJ, and he would have me handle the DJ booth while he was taking a bathroom break. So I guess
clubs and parties, right?
Yeah. Actually, it was a club on Memorial Drive called Visage. And I was playing reggae then. And then when I started playing, like, other DJs started coming around me and they started showing me different techniques, etc. So,
and you caught the bug.
And I caught the bug.
What about it caught you? Was it the fact that you could put on a record and see the reaction of people, or what was it for you?
It was a combination of things. I just feel like that's always been my happy place. So no matter what I had going on in life, you know, you put the music on, you just feel better. And then, yes, the icing on the cake is seeing how people react when you play music. So
And so you went from just a feeling, let me run to the bathroom, take a break, catch a drink at the bar, whatever, to like starting to DJ for parties on your own, right?
Exactly. So when that whole reggae thing kind of died down with me, you know, I started getting into house music, and everybody's like, but house wasn't popular in Atlanta. No. So my college roommate, who's from California, she had this mixtape that had, you know, Marshall Jefferson, you know, Farley, you name it. It was on that mixtape. Nice. I still have that cassette.
No, you do not. You should have brought it today. Let me touch it.
It's like this little pink and yellow Memorex tape.
Come on.
Because Memorex used to
be, was the tape that you're using for this. Yeah,
right. So before Maxell.
Yes,
you know.
Come on, Debbie.
So she used to play that tape every single day, and I was like, man. But I was calling it club music because that's what I knew it as.
Okay.
You know, because I used to spend my summers in New York, you know, listening to WBLS, and, you know, for me, that was like club music. Didn't know it as house music.
Come on.
So, so I was like, I wonder where I can find some of this stuff. Now, I was working at a record store at the time. Turtles Records and Tapes.
Yes, I remember Turtles.
You remember Turtles? So, so I started off with Camelot Music first, but it was at Lenox Mall.
Yes.
And, you know, we were all into Sade and all that stuff, you know. So then, I felt like I couldn't get anywhere with Camelot because for me, it's all about climbing the ladder. So I went and applied for a job at Turtles, and they saw that I had experience at Camelot, and they're like, "Oh, we'll hire you for $5.25 an hour," you know. But to me,
did she say $4.25?
It was $5.25.
It was $5.25.
$5.25. Yeah.
Wow.
But for me, you know, it was just the experience, you know, and being able to meet with a lot of the reps from the record companies, because back then they used to come in with their promos and do, you know, put up the flyers, et cetera, et cetera.
A real store.
And if you linked up with them, meaning, you know, just treated them well, they're like, oh, we got an extra copy in the car. Here you go. You know. Even though I had already started a huge record collection. So I started at the one, there was a Turtles right at Highland and Ponce, right over there where that movie theater is.
Ah!
Okay. So, but that Turtles was known as like the new age.
Okay.
You know, we used to listen to Brian Ferry. And, you know, so, but again, that opened my eyes to other music that was out there. And I will not forget the day when RuPaul walked into that store. He had first album out. It was called, and I don't know if I could say it, Sex Freak.
Oh.
Came in to see how the record was doing.
Yeah.
And we were selling it because just in that neighborhood, I mean, that was the stuff everybody was listening to.
That is correct. Yes, yes.
So, so I worked there for a while, and then there was an opening at the store on Candler Road across from South DeKalb Mall, and they were looking for an assistant manager.
Because you're moving up.
I'm trying to move up.
You're moving up.
So I transferred to that store, and then that store was kind of known as the jazz store. You know, everybody wanted to come in and get their, you know, Kenny G, George Howard, you know, Najee, you know, whatever. But there was a gentleman there that worked with me, this guy named Mike, who was from Chicago.
Yeah, well, there it is.
And that's when it really started.
There you go.
Because, you know, albums would come in, and sometimes we wouldn't get promos because, you know, the record company was only trying to push like the major stuff, right? And so, you know, but we'd get like shipments of everything, and then he'd pull something out. And I remember the first album he pulled out was J.M. Silk, which was, you know,
body.
Yeah, it was, and it was the group that Steve Silk Hurley was part of. And so he would play that record every single day, and I was like, man, I love this. You know. And then, you know, as time went on, you had, you know, like CeCe Peniston came out and all that. Again, I'm calling it dance music. You know, he's calling it house music. So, so at that time, and I'm still in school, but loved to entertain, started doing parties at my house. And I would cook.
Of course.
You know.
Come on, man.
I would cook and invite my friends over.
And DJ?
And DJ.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
And so this is how, I guess, the club thing started. So I have a friend, shout out to Dee Baker, who now lives in New York. But Dee had a friend who was a promoter in Miami that was moving to Atlanta and was going to start throwing parties. So Dee said, Deb, you're good. So I'm going to introduce you to, her name was Lisa Cox. And so I said, sure, you know, I'll talk to her. You know, I still just having a good time. I'm not thinking about the skill level or anything like that. So I met with Lisa, and Lisa said, yeah, I hear, you know, you play house music, and that's pretty much, you know, what we do at my parties. Yeah, we'll play a little bit of hip hop just because now we're in Atlanta, and it's kind of a different scene. And she had brought a DJ from Miami, but he was playing more like EDM style. And so, so, you know, I said, hey, if you allow me to play and people dance, you pay me. If not, you don't have to pay me. Okay? So I ended up working for her for like 3.5 years.
With pay.
With pay. Even better than you get paid now, but that's another story.
That's another story for another day.
Yeah.
So they come in town. Listen, I need this DJ. I hear you're good. Come on and play. And you're like, if I don't make the people dance, you don't have to pay me. And you work for that person for 3.5 years. And of course, because you were good in that space, people wanted you, right? You started getting more work.
Yeah. So I basically had a residency at Club Jaguars with this deal. But on the side, everybody was calling me to do birthday parties, and it was people that had been coming to the club.
Exactly.
So I was probably doing 5 or 6 parties a month.
Wow.
You know, but at that time, you know, my equipment was crap. I didn't even have professional speakers. I was like wiring up house speakers, you know, but it worked. It worked for what it was.
Right.
You know, and, you know, I felt like the more these people were calling me, then I could definitely go out and actually buy some professional equipment, you know.
Right.
Excuse me. I was using, well, a friend of mine felt bad for me. Actually, the first DJ that had me handling the booth at the reggae bar. So he gave me a mixer, you know, and so I was using that, but like my turntables, they were Techniques, but they were not 1200s, you know. You had to kind of, didn't even have pitch control. You had to kind of use your hand and, you know, move it around.
Yes. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Look at that. Wow. I didn't know. Now, in all the years that I've known you, I didn't know that the equipment you first started out on was
Oh, yeah.
Didn't know that.
But I never regretted it because I felt like using the crappy equipment actually helped me be a better DJ. And it helped me adapt to whatever equipment was out there, you know. So.
Were there other female DJs in the space during the time you were starting to come up? Let's use the time with Lisa Cox and you DJing for her for like 3.5 years. Were there other female DJs that you remember?
There were probably 2 or 3 other female DJs that I knew of.
Okay.
But as far as I know, they weren't getting booked like me. They, you know, because, you know, I guess there was no consistency on their part, or they had some other things going on. So, you know, one of the DJs, Lisa had actually invited to play with me at Jaguars, but I think her style was not the style the crowd was ready for, and so I don't think she ever got called back. Okay. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. And she used to work at Turtles, too.
Wow. Turtles was producing DJs.
Was producing DJs.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's just been skill set for you. It's never really been about gender. It's just like, she can play.
Yeah.
She's a good DJ. Put her on.
And that's like the way I look at other DJs too. I don't look at whether they're male or female. Just, do you have the skill set? Like, are your transitions tight, or are you train wrecking every time, or
are you playing the same song?
Are you playing the same songs every
all
DJ?
The time.
And every DJ's playing too. You've got to know how to introduce new music. You know, because we're here to educate the dance floor, you know, and that's one of the things I see today that's lacking. You know, everybody's playing the same 10 songs, and it's like, guys, you know, put some, even if it's just one new track,
right?
You know, because you never know.
I said it. I said it on my board. Yeah, I say it. And, you know, I have an opportunity, because I'm a house head, okay, for the new people. I'm a house head. I like house music. And most of my events would have house music as the underground or the current or the backdrop. Always. It just makes me feel good.
It's happy music.
It's happy music. Makes the people that come in there, they feel good. It's calming. People are not riled. They that's my song. They might want to move a little bit. It's really good. But I feel that a lot of times, you know, when I do go outside of house, I'll go to an R&B. So I can predict what they're going to play. And that's what I don't like. And then when you talk to those DJs, they'll say, well, that, that song just fits, after you play this, you should play that. It just fits. And so it seems like everybody plays in some of the R&B spaces from the same script. Right. And I feel like I don't even need to go because I know what you're going to play. You're not going to woo me. You're not going to do anything different. Or at this part of the program, people will start line dancing because you're going to play a certain song. Right. I feel with house music, you have an opportunity to play what you want.
Definitely.
And whenever you want.
Definitely.
And then the fact that, and we're going to talk about it, the fact that there are DJs that are becoming producers, knowing, listen, this is the kind of vibe that I've sensed, or I gotten people to move on the floor, and then you produce those kind of tracks. Then there's remakes of classics that are happening. Right. So it's like there's a lot of good music that could be played. Every time I go in, I hear you play. I don't care how full the room is. I don't care. Doesn't matter. I have a good time with your set because I don't know what you're going to play. I have no idea what you're going to play. You are not predictable. Thank you. Thank you, Debbie Graham.
Thank you.
You are not predictable because we don't know what you're going to play. I know it could be a mood for you. It could be who's in the room. It could be the type of event.
Correct.
And I think, to your credit, you are very professional. Let's talk about that because you pay attention to the audience, to the crowd. You know what to play. You're watching, you're feeling the crowd. You know when to transition. You don't cut it off too soon. Sometimes we're singing and the DJ will cut it off and I'm like, but I had another verse. It's just, you don't know what you're going to get. And I feel with you, you're very professional. Did you learn this because of Club Jaguar days, or how did you get so comfortable in just knowing, I don't want to say what's right from wrong, but how to read crowds and things like that?
So I guess I've always considered myself a student, even till this day, 41 years later.
Learning.
So I really pay attention to a lot of DJs. And if I can shout out, Ron Pullman was one of the DJs that I would study.
Yes, he's very good. Ron Pullman is excellent.
And he's a very technical,
he's very good
DJ. And I watch how Ron, watches the crowd, and then he just knows what his next move is going to be.
He makes a move. He makes us move.
So for me, I study. I feel like you have to put the work in. There are a lot of DJs out there, especially now because technology has allowed, new DJs to come in and learn how to play quickly, but they don't know the fundamentals. I watch DJs who never look up from their equipment. They never make eye contact with the crowd, and that's huge. As you mentioned, my style can change, so I do the research. If I get booked to play in Detroit, I'll find out whatever I can about what people listen to in Detroit.
That's right.
And I adapt.
Right.
Right.
Now, do you adapt enough that you feel like you're, I don't want to, pardon this, selling your soul or losing who you are? Can we could still
there's
get a
always,
sense of who you are,
yes,
right?
there is always still
I want to be clear
a
on
little
that.
Debbie Graham.
Yeah. A little DG in there?
A little DG in there, but, I think part of it, too, is the fact that growing up,
yes,
I listened to everything.
Everything.
So I feel like my style of playing is just bringing some of that, that old school fundamental stuff, and, that's why I feel like, I can play for different crowds in Atlanta.
Yeah, you can.
And I never feel like people are disappointed whether I play at MJQ or Alley Cat or whatever.
Right.
You know, but I'm always going to throw some of my roots in there too.
Which is good. Good.
So.
And you've been playing internationally too.
Yes.
Like Barcelona, like Spain. How is that? Well, how was the crowd there?
They like real soulful stuff.
Say it in the mic. Say it in the mic again. Yeah.
Soulful.
Yes. I love that because I did go to Ibiza and I felt the same thing too. I feel that in Europe, they love the soulful house.
Yes.
Deep house.
Yes.
And I like that too. Like so you did well over there while you were playing for them.
Yeah. And I'm hoping to go back again.
They're gonna call you. You're gonna go back. We just, we got some things going on in the world. Things got to kind of settle down. And yeah, you're gonna go back because you're good. You're professional. You're very good. What I like about you, Debbie, and I think most people do too, is your consistency. You're very consistent. Like we can set our dial to you. I was listening to you on Mixler with Deuce Martinez. You held that down for like years. Like one thing about the digital age, I will say, right? It has allowed you to be everywhere at the same time, right?
Correct.
We can count, at that time, you were my 10 a.m. show every Sunday. I listened to you as I prepared before coming to do this show, and I enjoyed it. It made me feel good. And then you've been on different platforms, different stations and things like that, but it's consistency. We can count on you. Some people listen to you at night. You got a show on Tuesdays or 7. Mine was Sunday. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to it now. This is just really good. And you never sound the same. Meaning that, again, we don't know what you're going to play, but it's always new. We could count on you for newness, like newness.
Yeah, I try to make it interesting because even now on my Tuesday show on Twitch, you may come in one Tuesday and I'm playing nothing but Afro. Yeah. But then the following week, I'm playing classics or I'm playing deep house. Yeah. I feel like if I do that, I can build a bigger audience.
Yes.
So, and it's just a natural thing for me. I don't plan my shows.
You don't.
I just.
It's a feeling for you.
Yeah, I just, turn all the equipment on and,
wow.
I'm like, think about the first track. And once I play that first track, then I know which direction I'm going.
And you make it look easy.
Well,
because the people think, I can do that. I can do that too. It's like, no, you cannot.
It's a lot of hard work.
It is
a lot of hard work. Another thing too that people don't realize is trying to find music. I mean, I spend probably 4 to 5 hours a week just digging for music.
Wow. That's good.
Like this morning, I was online for 3 hours.
Listening.
Just looking and listening and saying, hey, what did I miss that wasn't on the top 100? But it sounds good to me, And then I have all my little folders set up or my little carts set up, and drop it in. And then, if I have a gig coming up, I'm like, maybe I should go ahead and buy this music because I'm going to try it out at this gig.
Are there any other DJs? You shouted out Ron Pullman, rightly so. He's really good at what he does. And one of the architects, if you will, for house music here in Atlanta. Let's just say that. Give him his flowers while he's here. Is there anyone else that inspires you or influences you musically? And you don't have to share a name. But is there anybody that you listen to?
There's several people.
Good.
There's several people I listen to.
That's good.
And the reason I do that, well, first of all, I always want to give support to the community.
That part.
I might not be able to go to every party that's there because I'm pretty busy. But, if they have an online show,
you'll check it out.
I'll check it out. I'm just going to say, I love watching Salah play. I love watching Kemet play. those guys are just like
they're beasts.
Exactly.
They destroyed the High Museum.
And it's so weird because they're quiet assassins.
Nice. Yes.
That's what I call them.
Quiet assassins. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very good. They're very good.
And so, I know I can't always, go to Kemet's events, but sometimes, because Kemet does a show on Tuesday too on Twitch, so I'll raid into his show, and bring my listeners over who maybe not familiar, they're not familiar with him, so they're like, oh, that's that guy. That's that song.
He's so good.
He's
good. He'll drop Rolling Stones in the middle of the thing. Ooh, 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 ooh. I miss you. He'll just drop it and it'll just be so good. I have to admit, when we were in the COVID years, I was on everybody's Twitch. I was. Now that we're outside, I'm a flat lever. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't listen as much because I'm out.
And understandably so.
I'm out, and I feel bad because I'm not. Because I was supporting like doing stars and trying, because I understood how important this was. For us to support DJs during this time, because you guys were giving us life. It was a sense of hope.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know how long we were going to be indoors, but you provided entertainment for us. Like for that hour or two, however long you played, took our mind off of what was really happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean it was kind of like a mental health thing for me too, to play, because as you know, in the daytime, I'm in the medical thing, and we were busy.
Yeah.
We were super busy. I was working 70, 80 hours a week, and the music was my escape.
Your outlet.
Yeah.
So, because you've been DJing for so long, and now you're producing tracks now.
I'm trying.
You're a producer. Now you could wear a producer's hat. What's your love, DJing or producing?
So, I'll have to say DJing, just because when I'm actually playing, I can see the reaction right away from people.
Yes.
Whereas with production, you have to wait, and then sometimes, people don't necessarily support by buying your stuff.
It's harder.
However, you might drop in a track at a party, and everybody's like, "That's you." And then next thing I know, Bandcamp is like, "You got money."
That's a good problem to have.
I love the producing also, but I'm also thinking about the future. Like, how many more years do I have to stand in front of a crowd for hours playing?
We'll give you a chair. We'll give you a chair.
I know. The knee might give out or something like that. So, plus, me, I'm always looking at ways to have passive income.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
those that know, if you ever want to get in business with this lady, her question is going to be, well, I hear you and I understand, but what's your budget? What's your budget?
My favorite 3 words.
That's it. What's your budget? Yeah. And I must say, you have helped people to understand that. Like, this is a business, right?
Yes.
This is a business that can be lucrative, whether you want to do it full time or as a hobby, but you treat it as a business and you work with people. But listen, to transport, let's break it down. To buy the equipment is an investment. To continue to put new music in your crates is an investment. To move the music, the equipment to said event or place, time, energy, transportation costs. Like, this is not a free thing.
No, it's not.
No, because it's speakers, it's mixers, it's the board, it's the whole thing.
And that stuff is heavy.
It's heavy because it's real stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is real stuff that's going on. So, yeah, nothing is for free, is what we're saying.
And time is money.
Time is money. Time is money. Yeah, so you got to be mindful of that. What would you say, Debbie? Because we talked about COVID, and because people were inside, there was opportunity for people to hone in on a new skill, right? So we have people that have emerged as DJs, men and women, young and old, right? What would you say to somebody that's new in this profession? What would you say to inspire them or get them on the right track, or some words of advice that you could share to somebody new in the space of DJing?
So typically, and I know a lot of the new DJs, they may have started on digital equipment.
Digital.
Okay?
Yeah.
If they have that love, I encourage them, hey, go back to the basics. Learn how to spin on vinyl. You know, because I feel like because I learned to spin on vinyl, everything else is easy.
Easy peasy.
Because you train your ear. You're not looking at BPMs.
Oh, girl.
You know,
you're not doing this and scrolling this on the board looking for the next track.
You know, back in the day, we just had like a little mark on a white label or something, and you're like, oh, that's that track.
Yeah, right, you know? right.
You know, now we don't even really know the music because there's so much of it coming out digitally, you know. But I mean, that's one thing that I would tell them. But the other thing is consistency is key, you know, and practice.
Yes,
because I'm not what I consider a professional DJ in the sense that this is not my 9 to 5.
Okay.
And I do play several times a week. But even as I prepare for a gig, you know, I practice.
You practice.
I am not embarrassed to say that I practice. There are people that walk around and say, practice? What is that? I practice, you know, and it's not that I have like a specific playlist that I'm following. You know, I just want to see what sounds good, you know, and then it makes it a little bit easier at the gig too, you know.
I think that some DJs may not practice, but they do play music, and maybe they don't realize that is almost practicing.
Right.
Because I asked one DJ, I said, I spoke to his wife, and I said, does he do that all the time? Girl, he just gets up first thing in the morning. He just goes and he just plays, and it could be, one, the love for music, and two, he just wants to play what he wants to play, wants to hear,
right?
And maybe subconsciously it's a little bit of practice. But I think that if you get up and you play, you're doing yourself a solid by at least, you know, like you're saying, knowing what works.
Yeah.
How to come up with something a little different.
Exactly, because a lot of times too, you know, people that just play to play and they don't understand music theory and how certain keys, you know, work together and the blends.
Come on.
You know, and I mean, I know I might be getting a little technical, but I know for me, like, I know that this key is going to sound good with this key, and, you know.
And you've never played an instrument?
I've played instruments.
Okay. She said instruments. That was a plural. So what instruments have you played, Debbie?
So I could play the flute.
Okay.
You know, it started off in Jamaica.
Yes.
You learn to play the recorder.
Yes.
And then I went to the flute after that. I did take piano lessons for a little bit, but I was never good at it. So, you know, I can do a 2-finger bang here and there. Yeah. And then I got very interested in playing percussions, thanks to Sheila E. So I learned how to play timbales.
Yes.
Yeah, and, you know, I know how to drum a little bit. You know, my brother is really the drummer, but, you know, I picked up some things from him. So.
You just had, you know, I agree with you on several points. I think that there needs to be a love for music. and not just be cold with it.
Right.
Just there needs to be a love for it and an understanding of how to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Because I think that people may think they know music, but they may not know how to make it make sense, and translating that to make people in the room want to dance.
Yeah, because you have to tell a story.
That part.
You have to tell a story.
That part.
And if people get the story, they're going to start dancing.
Yeah. Either tell a story or make people feel good. One of the two.
Yeah.
One of the two. You've been in this industry for a long time, and I know when I talk to females, when I talk to DJs that happen to be females, that's how they want to be considered, a DJ. Not a female DJ. A DJ. Period. End of story. And you've been in this market for quite some time, since a little girl in Jamaica loving music and just really getting your opportunities here in Atlanta when you first got here, college years and all that. Do you feel that things have changed? Like, are doors opening, or better yet, let me rephrase the question, that people are being looked at based on their skill and not based on their case that they're coming in? Do you think that is still a thing today, or you don't know because that ain't never been your story?
Well, yeah, it's never been my it really has never been my story.
You had that problem because you've always been looked at as a good DJ, period.
Right. And I think some people do get caught up in the whole aesthetics without looking at the skill, because I think they feel like aesthetics can sell tickets.
Right.
Right. But I'm just gonna be me. No matter what. And show them that I can play, and I can play with whomever. Because again, it's about the skill.
Right.
Now back to the female DJ thing. What I don't like, especially in 2023, is when people say, "Oh, you're my favorite female DJ."
Yeah. Should just
okay,
be DJ.
if I'm not your favorite DJ, then just don't say anything. But the female male thing, that needs to go away.
It should go away. It should be based on skill.
Exactly.
And how people feel when you play, regardless of your gender. That really shouldn't matter.
That's like saying, "Oh, that's a great male doctor."
Oh, I've
and a great female doctor.
You're like, kind of cute for a dark-skinned girl.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's
like, either I'm cute or I'm not. What does the dark skin have to? Yeah, you're kind of all right. You're kind of cute for a dark.
I mean, it's like an insult, kind of.
It is.
Yeah.
And I'm using that as an example, as an extreme, but yeah, it should just be what it is, and not anything else. You have a full-time job, but you're busy as a DJ. You're busy as a DJ. Is there anybody you would like to play with that you've not?
Well, obviously, everybody wants to play with Louis.
The God, yes. The God, yes. Louis Vega, yes.
Louis Vega.
Yeah, that's the only one, pretty much, right?
I mean, there are other big names out there, but I have so much respect for him.
Yeah.
Love what he's doing.
Yeah, yeah. You've played with some good people, though.
I have. Yeah.
You have.
And I'm thankful to those who helped me, along the way to get there.
You got some besties in the business that are just killing it.
They're on a boat somewhere.
I'm trying to get that one on the show. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You know who it is. She's so busy. But those are good examples. Like, those are women, I believe, or just people in your life that make you strive for more. Like, because you see that they're doing it. You're like, You know, and you got to have good role models. I think you have surrounded yourself
with good people.
Role models to encourage you, hold you accountable as a DJ.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
and now they're starting to hold me accountable as a producer. Yeah.
Right. So your levels are going up because of the people that believe in you as an artist. You're an artist, Deb. You know that?
Never thought about it that way. I guess I am.
You're an artist. Yeah. You're not just a DJ. You're an artist because you're a musician, you're a DJ, you produce the music. What's next for you? What do you want to see yourself doing? You're talking about, well, I'm getting a little, can't do this forever. Like, what do you want to do? What's next for you?
I would say in the next 5 years, because I just have to break it up in increments, you know?
Yeah, you have to.
I really want to do a lot more traveling and playing overseas. So
that'd be great.
That's something that I'm working on.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Do you have what I'd like to see? I always encourage us because we are maturing, right? And it would be so selfish of us to not be here and in-house music just go and not knocking Beyonce. God, thank you. But it had always been here before you started breaking our soul. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, I'm not gonna knock Beyonce because she's really opened it up to people who would probably never listen to it, to house music.
Okay, that's a good segue. So I would say because of this opening, do we have an opportunity to mentor more people, or how are we making sure that all of this beautiful knowledge and consistency and professionalism that you have can be passed on? Are people showing interest more now that Beyonce has done what she's done?
I think so, for sure. You know, and then for me, you know, I love to teach. I think in my other life I was a teacher. So, you know, I'd like to do more workshops.
Yes.
You know, to teach the younger generation how to do this.
Yeah, we've seen you do that with the Women's House Music Collective.
Correct.
Yes, you did that this spring. Shouts out to Jay Honey, right? Founder of that, and came up with that idea, and the people loved it. And you were teaching some beautiful young little lady. She could barely see over the turntables, the equipment. She was so sweet, and her dad was there supporting.
Little Rose,
cheering her on, and everybody was loving it. And you taught some older people, like our famous Joseph. He was loving it, and he's like, I want to do more of this. And so it's a bug.
Yes.
Once people get it, they don't want to stop.
Exactly.
But you're very patient with them. You were helping them learn, and you're good at teaching.
Yeah, I've always been told I have the patience of Job. So, you know, but I love doing that too. It makes me happy because, like you said, you know, after our generation, people weren't really into house. So who's going to carry it on?
That's what
who's going to carry the torch?
Yes.
So, you know, we have to start mentoring these kids. And, you know, as you see, there are a couple of kids coming out of like New York. You have Justin Miles, just the DJ, who's doing a fantastic job. You know, Amir's a little bit more grown up now. You know, Jordan Pope, he's a little grown up too. Now you have this 14-year-old kid out of London, Max Jax, who's producing and DJing.
Awesome.
You know, so I like see that stuff. That makes me happy when I see that. But we got to spread the word even more.
Sure do. Where can the people find you, Debbie Graham?
So, you can go to my Instagram page, which is DJ Debbie Graham ATL. I actually have all my links located on IG or Facebook, Debbie Graham. Have Mixcloud, which is Debbie Graham.
Debbie Graham. She's easy to find.
DJ Deb in the background. Some of you know me as DJ Deb. And some people still call me DJ Deb, but rebranding, you know. And on my Bandcamp, it's debbiegraham.bandcamp.com.
And you have a movement like T-shirts and
so
what is that?
My LLC is the House of Distinction.
That's right.
And I
People
do have,
wearing the T-shirts.
Do have T-shirts.
Mm-hmm,
yep.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully I will start adding more gear as time allows.
You will. Well, listen, I want to say thank you for being a curator of good music, good sounds, making the people feel good, having a good time, making us dance for all these years. I hope you continue to do it. Just don't stop. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the invite, Michelle.
Yeah, always.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. It was way overdue. You should have been here a long time ago, but nothing happens before it's time.
That's true.
So that I
That's
believe
true.
in. So listen, people. You know me. Real Chicks Rock. I'm everywhere. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, which is now X. Facebook. I got, go to the website, realchicksrock.com. We got T-shirts and merch out there. Go cop you some. Get that. Go to the YouTube channel, Real Chicks Rock. Subscribe. Hit the notify bell so you don't miss another show. And you know what? Debbie doesn't even know, but this is how I end my show. I love Frankie Crocker. Yes, born and raised off 107.5 WBLS in New York, and he would end his show this way every time. He would say, may you live to be 100, and I would live to be 100 minus a day, so that I never knew that beautiful people like you